Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
Broadcasting live from Strong Island Studios in Massapequa, New York.
You're listening to Man Up
with Eric Holzman and Matt Lehman.
What's up, guys? Happy Halloween. I'm here once again with my co-host, Eric Holzman.
What's up, Matt?
Nothing much. Another exciting week in sports here to talk about.
Yes, sir.
So before we get into it, before we get into all the exciting football trades from today.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff going on.
I wanted to make sure we took aside some time and talked about the all-important sport of hockey. Eric has...
This is me.
This is more Eric, but...
This is all me, pretty much.
We do have viewers that it is important to, so I'm sure that...
Yeah, no, it is one of the 4 major sports in this country, so we probably should discuss it.
Is it?
Even though, well, yeah, I guess, it kind of... maybe it's falling behind golf, I don't know. But.
In all fairness, though, it's probably the best sport to watch live.
In my experience, it definitely is. I love going to hockey games, especially at good arenas, and we don't have one of those for the Islanders either. Oh, there we go. I wanted to talk about the Islanders. Specifically, John Tavares. I have a lot of Islander fan friends. I'm part of an Islanders group on Facebook. I linked them, so maybe some of them are watching. And he's started out rough this season, and everyone knows the pending contract situation and everything going on with the team and the arena. Are they going to get the arena at Belmont? Are they not going to get the arena at Belmont? And there's been a lot of, to me, reckless talk about trading this guy. And as an Islander fan who... The only reason I'm an Islander fan is because when I was a little boy, that's when they were good. So they haven't
Didn't you get your fill?
Huh?
I mean, I'm a Jets fan. I haven't had anything. And Cowboys, obviously. This is why I'm wearing this today, to kind of make a point.
And this is further insight into my messed up psyche because I am an Islanders fan and I am also a Jets fan. So
no outlet.
Yeah.
You have the Yankees, so.
I do have the Yankees, which is, of course, is my one
sore subject.
Saving grace. Yeah, right now it's not too sore. Too happy a subject. But back to what I was going to talk about with Tavares. Islander fans need to chill out, okay? They need to calm down, sit back. This guy's the best player we have had since Ziggy Palffy or...
Pierre Turgeon?
Maybe even Pierre Turgeon. I'm not even kidding. That's how long it's been since they've had a player of that stature. And he's been here now for a while. Every year he's in discussion for MVP. Maybe not last year, but most of the seasons he's always in discussion for MVP. He's basically been a one-man show since he's been here. They have Ladd now, Andrew Ladd and Jordan Eberle, and they're trying to throw these good players. They're not great players. They're good players. They're trying to throw them alongside him and say, okay, go do your thing now. We gave you a team. And the bottom line is they would be nowhere near where they are if he wasn't on the team.
Now, I don't know much about hockey, but I do know that John Tavares is an elite player. And he's not just a run-of-the-mill guy.
Right.
So I get it. But this is his last year of his deal, and he's going into free agency. So do you think it makes sense for them to kind of field offers to see what they could potentially get back to maybe rebuild for the future? Or do you think it's foolish because he's already, that type of player and you should keep building around him because he's not that old?
If he tells them, I don't want to come back, then of course you have to try and trade him. You don't want to lose your biggest chip for nothing. We hear about this in sports all the time. Players approaching a contract. Are they going to stay? Are they going to go? Should we trade them? In a sport like hockey where you can stockpile picks and you could stockpile, there's a lot of levels to get to before it gets to the NHL, and you have players that are developing in the lesser leagues.
Yep.
It makes more sense to do a move like that if the player comes and tells you, I'm out. But it's so early in the season, and the only reason people are saying this is because he struggled for the first, I want to say 1 or 2 weeks of the season. He scored 8 goals in the last 3 games.
He had a hiccup.
Right, and now he's playing well, and of course the chatter dies down because people are now saying, well, look at what we have. Again, he's the best player they've had in years, and there's no reason to have a knee-jerk reaction to this start. They're starting to come out of it. He's starting to play well. The other guys around him are starting to play well. The goaltending's been but they're playing a lot better now, and they just need to ride it out with him. If he tells them, you know what, I don't think it's going to work for me here, I don't want to stay, by all means, field offers. But until then, you just got to chill out. It's just it's a little extra right now. The kids use that phrase now, extra. It's a little extra right now, and we don't need that.
I have no idea about that. So.
We don't. Yeah,
I'm not with it like
let's
you. So.
let's ride this. Let's ride it right now because they're playing really well right now. They're really come back. You know, they've come back down. I mean, assuming they come back up. So we need to roll with it.
Let's take a breath here.
Yeah.
Everyone relax. I know there's Islander fans out there that probably feel the exact same way.
Yeah, if you want to yell at me and tell me I'm wrong, give me a call. 516-945-9099 is the number.
And I would love to hear from anyone about anything this entire show. I mean, I've had a lot of friends and even family say that they wanted to call in, but none of them have. So what's that number again?
516-945-9099. Yeah, give us a call. And, you know, we don't bite.
We don't. Well, we might.
At least I don't.
I know. Sometimes, you know. So a lot of big trades today in the NFL.
Yeah, today was the trade deadline. And, yeah, surprisingly so. Like, this is not – the NFL trading deadline usually goes by with very little fanfare, but this one has been good.
I think the reason is because as you get a little deeper into the season, because now the trade deadline is week 8,
right?
As we know, it used to be week 4 or 5.
I think it was 6.
6? Either way, the extra few weeks, I think it allows teams to see.
It's the middle of the season, right?
For sure.
So.
And also, I think it lets you see 2 things. It lets you see first where your holes are,
right,
and then also if it's even worth it going for it. Because when you're in week 5 or 6, you know, you still are kind of a little undecided. But when you get halfway through and you're in the winning section of teams, it makes sense to make moves like this. I mean, the Eagles getting Ajayi, yeah, he's having a little bit of a down year in Miami. I'm not 100% sure if that's actually his fault because the team overall is just not great. They lost Tannehill and they had to rely on pretty much the run game. So people know it's coming. You know, you're going to have a down year. I think him going to Philly, though, even though they said that potentially LeGarrette Blount is still the lead back, potentially I think this guy could be a monster addition for them. I really do.
No, that was one of the trades where I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Like
for a 4th, right?
Yeah, for a 4th round. They traded him, got a 4th round pick. And last year he was incredible. Like then in last season, Ajayi was ridiculous.
He had 2 games that were like
he had back-to-back to over 200 yards, almost 300 yards. So for a team like the Eagles to acquire him now, a team that looks incredible, one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league.
Said it last week. I thought it from. But yeah, it's kind of like. But we've seen the Eagles do this before. It was a little different because it was in free agency and they like loaded up. Remember that when they got Nnamdi Asomugha and who did they have? Asante Samuel and they got someone else. But either way, I know it's a little different, and I think the team's a lot different. And I hate to say it, wearing this jersey, but they're going to be a force for a while.
Yeah, we need to burn that jersey, by the way.
No. It's gotta Sorry, first of all, guys, America's team.
How do you be?
I'm
not going there.
No. I was raised on him. You know,
it's fine.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And now I'm a Jets fan too. But whatever. That's besides the point. So that trade, I think, has a huge impact, especially in the playoffs. Because you need running backs to, in that in Philly too.
Yeah. Of the ones that were made, I think that one has the most impact to a good team. Like of the trades that were made, that's going to impact them now because they're like you said, the running back situation. They have okay backs, but this guy is a much better talent. So you're adding a guy who's a higher talent level, younger, exactly, more dynamic. You have So you have now they have another weapon for Carson Wentz. So and obviously out of the backfield, but they might throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah, they lost Sproles. They lost Pumphrey. They knew they had to make a move. I know that's not the same type of back, but yeah, I agree. Now, I do disagree a little bit on the impact of the trades. I do think Buffalo is a good team, and getting Kelvin Benjamin is a huge addition for them. Red zone especially. Having someone to throw it to, he's not the fastest, but being 6'5", 240, sometimes 260 coming into training camp. I don't know if you guys remember that picture. He's a force, and he's been playing all right this year. So
no, he's definitely a force. He has been good. I have him on a couple fantasy teams, so I've been following him more this year than I normally do, and he has been pretty good. Not always scoring touchdowns, but yardage-wise, he's been good this year. So that trade for Buffalo, you trade Sammy Watkins and now you trade for Kelvin Benjamin, right? It's kind of it's kind of a weird.
They like the guys with the dreads. Though. That's pretty clear.
That's true. And what was I gonna say? Now I lost my train of thought.
Anyway, I think that trade's going to be very impactful, and Tyrod needed a guy that he could rely on. Jordan Matthews is still coming back off that injury, which when he gets going, they're going to have two big physical receivers that are going to be great. Clay's hurt also. They have Shady McCoy. Their team's interesting.
Well, I mean, McCoy is their team, in my eyes. If he goes down, they're done.
Well, maybe the Jets will. I don't wish this on anyone, but maybe the Jets will take care of him this week.
Yeah,
or actually on Thursday.
I thought that they might have a chance. If I don't know now that they have a really legitimate threat at wide receiver.
I don't know how much he'll play aside from in the red zone.
What does he need to do? He's like he's a
route
gargantuan
tree.
man.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I think the first game they fit him in on the outside, in 10-yard situations or something like that to make him do a fade route. I don't think he's going to be able to handle the communication unless they're super simplistic.
But maybe the segue into who the Jets acquired today.
Oh, okay, Rashard Robinson.
Right, maybe he could come in and do something and help the Jets out because corner's been kind of a shaky position.
He's young too. He's very young. Rashard Robinson. He's decently tall. I think he's like 6'1". I happen to know on Madden he's a great player. He's got quick dev on Madden. So if anyone plays Madden. He's good. Listen, whatever. Robbie Anderson, we'll get into that too.
Yeah, we'll get into Robbie Anderson.
Predictive. Madden's very predictive. But anyway, I think that that trade's actually going to be real interesting for the Jets, and I like him. He's a young player. We didn't really give up that much for him. I think it was, what was it, a fourth?
I think it was a fourth.
Fourths are going around like candy, apparently.
Yeah.
But I totally agree that this trade deadline, it was like anything that we've seen like in the past for the NFL. I mean, it was like the baseball trade deadline. It basically was. There were so many deals. And the last deal, and the deal that I think is actually the biggest deal that happened, was the one for Dwayne Brown, the left tackle, going to... Oh, we got a call coming in. Let's see who it is.
Yes. Let's see who the caller.
Anyway, hello. Who's on the line?
Hello?
Hi, guys. First time, long time.
Okay.
I know it is.
I just wanted to know what you guys think of all these trades today, especially how you feel about how the Patriots can trade a backup player who has 3 starts under his belt with injured out of one of the games for a second-round pick, but the Dolphins unload a Pro Bowler for a 4th-round pick. Do you think how genius the Patriots are? Does it infuriate you? Or, what are they doing that everyone else isn't doing? Because the Patriots get the benefit of the doubt over everything.
Everything they do infuriates me, so that's neither here nor there. But but they
I know that, Eric. I don't know if you know this voice, but I've known you.
Yes, I know who this is. I know who you are. How's it going down there, by the way?
Well, it's very good now that I told the Carolina Panthers to trade Kelvin Benjamin.
Yes, John, who do you root for?
The Buffalo Bills.
There you go.
There you go, right?
Congratulations.
I haven't been able to say that with Moxie since I was a teenager.
You never know. It could be their year.
They're looking good.
The Bills are good. The Hurricanes are undefeated. I feel like it's the 90s again.
That's it. So I got my Cowboys jersey. I'm being wishful thinking here, you know?
But no, that's a really good point. The Patriots, they just seem to get everything seems to go their way. Garoppolo looks good when we saw him, but he did get hurt, like John said, and they were able to move him for a 2nd-round pick.
I agree. And you know what the thing is? You guys are going to laugh, but I think they had a deal with the devil. Honestly. I think they had a deal. Like Brady a long time ago, or Belichick, or one of them, they signed a deal with the devil, and I'm a firm believer that the tuck rule from the start of this whole thing was what started the avalanche of luck going their way. And listen, Brissett came in, they dealt him, he's doing well, so you can't really argue, and I think that's kind of what potentially, made this value go up for Garoppolo or down, whichever way you want to think about it. But
now,
I don't know. I like it for them, but I hate it.
Are you guys hoping now more than ever that the Madden curse strikes now that New England has no backup quarterbacks?
Oh, for sure, and it's been striking. It's been striking. I'm telling you.
Yes,
Edelman was the first. And like I said, Brady, he potentially has a deal with the devil, which blocks him from all injuries. So that's why he's not technically getting injured, and I think it's going residually to the rest of their team. We have another call
coming in. John, thanks for calling.
Hello, this is Matt and Eric.
Hey, Matt.
Who do we have calling?
Hey, we got Steve from Ronkonkoma.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Not bad. I don't know if your callers really know, but the reason why the Patriots traded away Garoppolo was because they didn't have the resources to sign him long term at all.
Really, that's a good point, actually. And yeah, I mean, they've always been very savvy with money, and they've also always been very frugal in not paying their veterans or people that are going into contracts. So you made a great point.
Well, Brady always takes a pay cut anyway. Like, Brady's always like, yeah, I'll take a pay cut. And then they wound up doing whatever.
He gets money from Uggs. You know?
Well, that's true. But you guys are missing the main point is that they wanted to re-sign him. They just couldn't restructure their entire organization to sign him. So for them to get the pick that they got is what they thought he was worth and what most NFL teams think he's worth.
But it just, to me, and I hear that, but to me, what has he really shown? Like, that's always the question. I mean, to me, because he's a Patriot was the reason why he got the second round. They got the second round pick. If he was on another team, I don't think they would have gotten a second round pick for him.
Oh, and here's another side of that, because I agree with the caller and I also agree with you. But on the other side of it is the franchise tag, right? If you tag a player and some other team signs him, they think of a first. So maybe they're just trying to pay under the value because they thought they were going to be going for him anyway.
That's true. That's a good point.
All right, guys. Thanks for the time.
You got it. Call
Thanks
anytime.
for calling in.
All right, thanks.
So, I mean, the biggest trade, I think, is the one for Dwayne Brown.
Right.
It gives Russell Wilson a blind side that he hasn't had.
Protector, yeah.
It's going to make him be able to sit in the pocket for a little longer. And, yeah, they gave up a second and a corner and a fifth. But I really think the winner of that trade will end up being Seattle because of that.
It's always hard to say because you don't know what's going to happen with the players the Texans pick. So you literally have to wait until after 2019, maybe 2020, 2021, to actually see who won the trade. But if the Seahawks win another Super Bowl, then it makes perfect sense.
Of course, because a lot of the teams they're going to face are going to have great pass rush, and having that left tackle is important.
Yeah, apparently I was listening to another show today, and they said that in 439 pass attempts, Brown only let up 1 sack last year.
That's insane.
Right?
Especially with the quarterbacks they had.
I know, with Brock Osweiler as quarterback.
The statue.
So that is kind of crazy. It was a bit of a shocker to me. I was shocked that they traded him because I mean they have Deshaun Watson now, right? So wouldn't you want to protect him too?
I think that the mobility he has is
so does
key.
Wilson.
Well, yeah, but it's a little different because first of all, size, they're completely different sizes.
That's true.
And
That's true.
Watson's fresh-legged, and Wilson's getting up there. He's not old, definitely not. But
he's taking a little bit more of a beating.
And he's been running this read option system, and he takes the hits, like you said. So, and also him not running for his life and having some time is only going to make them way better. I mean, that's pretty obvious to say, but I mean, he's got threats now. So.
That game was incredible.
I know.
The Texans Seahawks game was incredible.
I had Russell Wilson, and for a while there, it was kind of like, and then like in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, your pick for tight end, Jimmy Graham stepped up.
That's right. I should have brought that up. I should have brought that up to John when he called because he's the one who got on me about picking Jimmy Graham last week. So I should have brought that up.
Did you pick him in our DraftKings?
I think I did. Yeah, I did. I did pick him in DraftKings. I did. I think I did.
Speaking of that, my girlfriend last week she placed third, and this week she got second.
Yes.
And I didn't even see her lineup once. So props to her.
And my buddy Paul, first week I put it out there, like, hey, you want to do? He's like, of course. And he comes in and he wins.
And I'm sorry, what's the coincidental trait about both my girlfriend and your buddy?
Oh, they both have the same last name.
Miller.
They're both
the Millers.
Yeah, right?
They're running it. But
good job, guys. Seriously.
So this week, it gets interesting on Thursday. That's when the Jets play the Bills.
Yes.
We didn't get the win last week against Atlanta. It was a rough game.
Once again, they blew a lead. Another blown fourth quarter lead.
But it wasn't the same. It was different to me. I mean, it was a rough game. They had a few things go wrong, a few things go right. It was still
no excuses. No excuses. The Falcons played in the same weather. Falcons
know-
turned over the ball twice. The Jets scored 3 points off both those turnovers.
Well, we lost out on 6 points because Catanzaro missed 2 field goals. But the
That's a
weather
good
was
point.
tough, and we lost by 5. So if we had those 2 field goals back, we won the game, right?
It's hard to say that always, though,
I
because
know,
you don't know how the
but-
game's going to go from that point if he makes them, and the Falcons might make different decisions. So it's hard to. Yes, on paper, you're right. If he kicks the
It's
2 field goals-
circumstantial. I get it, but I mean, I just feel like they played well still. I mean, in certain respects, they did. Robbie Anderson,
Oh yeah,
the GOAT. I'm going to start calling him the GOAT.
No, he's really starting to emerge. Every week, I feel like he gets a little bit more comfortable, and not just with the deep routes. He's doing, he's running better routes. He seems to get open more on the intermediate stuff, which is where you need to see growth. He's fast, and he's kind of tall, so he always could run.
I gotcha.
and-
And you know what the thing is? In college, he wasn't a slouch. It's just, and I think I might have mentioned this a few episodes ago on the first show, but he was actually projected to be a first-round pick about 2 or 3 years before he actually got drafted. And he went to Temple in Philly.
Right.
And he ran a 4.35, like he's 6'3", like no brainer. But the problem is his academics, and he got booted out of school, and then it dropped him, and he also has a little bit of a rough past. Then he started getting mentored by Chad Ochocinco, actually, and it kind of turned his career around. And now he's here. So
I mean, I wish he would, eat a little more and put on a little bit
Yeah,
of weight,
right?
because he's kind of weighs like a third of what I weigh. But
yeah, that's crazy.
but
that-
still,
he's wiry.
yeah,
Like
wiry.
they say in the replacements. Not a kicker, but he's a receiver. He's wiry.
Yes.
But I think, listen, it was a great game for him, and I honestly I've liked him for a long time, and people maybe we'll get a caller. Who knows? That'll attest to this. But I know you don't care about Madden, but in all honesty,
Oh Jesus! I know
I had
do,
Robbie
actually.
Anderson. Okay, you
I do like Madden. I think it's like I told you before. I had Geno Smith once as the Jets quarterback, and I made him into a Pro Bowl player.
Well, I'm in a 32-person league,
Okay.
So it's 32 people playing. So whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not real life. But the bottom line is, Robbie Anderson has been great at Madden for a while, so we kind of knew amongst ourselves that he might be something special. And I actually drafted him in literally every single one of my leagues besides one, because my other buddy got him, and he's also a Jets fan.
Shocking.
And it just took because last year at the end of the year,
No, he was good at the end of last year. I know.
yeah, shocker. But you know what? Whatever. Like I'm not really a homer in fantasy for Jets, because usually they don't have a lot of good fantasy players.
That's true.
Like they had Brandon Marshall, they had Eric Decker. Like that year, I had Brandon Marshall. Like
I did too.
I did
I had him that year.
because I liked rooting, and this year I actually have Safarian Jenkins in quite a few leagues. But anyway, I did try to get him because of last year, the way he ended it with Petty. He had a few good games. He put it together, and I think that he's gonna, if he stays healthy, like he is a string bean, like you said.
Yeah, it's always a fear of mine that every time I see him go up for a catch, I'm like,
You're like, don't
he's
go
gonna,
over the middle.
I'm like, he's gonna get hurt. I just say it every time. He's gonna come down, hurt something.
But yeah, I feel like he's.
Speaking of hurt, did you see Zach Miller's?
Oh man, I felt so
Dude,
bad.
they thought they might have to amputate his leg.
I know, it was
Some
crazy.
vascular, the vein apparently.
I couldn't even say the name of
blew
the vein.
up.
I was trying to say it last night. I was like, I'm not going to say this on the air, but I was going to bring it up. But yeah, because.
Insane.
But it was such a basic like.
Yeah, he didn't like. I saw the play, and it definitely I think was weather related because it looked like his foot got stuck a little, and
Yeah, it dislocated him. Oh.
right. And
Just
I
thinking
saw the
about
play, and I tore my ACL, so every
Oh,
time I
have you?
see
I
that,
didn't know
yeah,
that.
am I right? Like, yeah. That's a different show.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so every time I see something like that now, I'm always like, oh, you like cringe because you can
Yeah.
relate to the pain. But this was 20 times worse than that. Like I didn't expect. They were literally talking about might have to amputate
I
his
know.
leg.
I was like, I can't even. And honestly, I was blown away because the play. It was just like a little over the shoulder grab, like in the end zone. It wasn't anything crazy, and he didn't even get tackled weird.
But he caught it and he held onto the ball.
He did, and that's what the players we need.
Yes, and that's what happens. Broken leg might need to be amputated. Who cares?
Held on
Caught
the ball. Last catch. If it was his last catch in the NFL, it was a touchdown.
Exactly.
That's the bright side. So Zach Miller, if you're watching, which I doubt you are, in Chicago, never know.
He's
Get well.
probably laid up a little bit right now. So
Maybe he is.
Hey.
Maybe he's like, you know what? Someone gave you a shout out. Please share this on
Yes,
Zach
share it
Miller's,
on Zach Miller's page.
so he knows that we said it. We're hoping he gets better.
Yeah,
and he's
get
back.
well soon, man. Seriously.
And then come to the Jets and give us a shot just because of this show. Anyway.
If you could play again.
What do you think they're going to do on Thursday? You think they're going to win?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of Buffalo this year. I've just It just happened to work out, and they're actually a very solid team. And it's
I
hard.
know.
It's hard for me to say that, but they really are a solid team.
I bet our buddy that called in wants them to whoop up on the Jets.
There are more Bills fans around here than I ever knew. Like
Oh, yeah.
my friend, my buddy who called in, he doesn't live up here anymore. He lives in North Carolina, but there are a lot more Buffalo Bills fans in this area than I ever thought I would see in my life. Like I run into people all the time. They're like, "Yeah, I'm a Bills fan." I'm like, "What?" Like really?
To be honest, you got to think about it the same way you thought about it with the Islanders. They were in a lot, even though they lost. Sorry if it's a sore spot.
No, they were good.
They were great. They
Yeah,
weren't
4
even
straight
good.
Super
They were
Bowls?
great.
Yeah, they
and
were.
they got a lot of bad luck, and that's
Yes, sir.
kind of the only thing you could chalk it up to.
Yes, sir.
And then
That's a very
bad
good
kicks
point.
and stuff like that.
That is
Once
a very
again,
good point.
I'm kind of ribbing it a little because I like the Jets, but either way, that's why there's so many fans. I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but they have a shot. I mean, they can win. Any divisional game, I think you always have a chance to win.
Especially, there's bad blood between the Jets
So-
and Buffalo over the last few years. I feel like them, 2 years ago, knocking them out of the playoffs. Even though Fitzpatrick's not here, there's still a lot of guys on the team on defense that were there. You don't think so?
I just don't like hearing that name, Fitzpatrick.
He's chilling in Tampa. He's having a great time.
Can't stand that guy. Anyway, and he played for both teams too. Fitzpatrick played for Buffalo and the Jets.
Yes, he did. And he was actually pretty good on both of them. That was the only time he was actually decent.
That's true. He had a good 6-game run with the Bills.
Same coordinator. That's why. Chin Gailey was the coach.
And then he had a good season with the Jets.
The one thing I will say, and this is completely unrelated, but it's kind of just take a shot at the Bills. I don't know how you guys ever let go of Doug Marrone. Like, I liked him from the start. Like, when they looked like they were turning the corner, and then you guys just completely just canned him.
I believe there was some organizational.
Yeah, people
issues
didn't like
with
him.
that,
That's
right?
the
I
thing.
think
But
that
like,
he,
it sucks because now you see him winning with Jacksonville.
that's true.
Coughlin's there as well, but I feel like it starts with Coughlin probably as team president, but if you go to Marrone,
Coughlin's in Jacksonville.
yes, so is he.
Oh, okay, my fault.
It's okay. Yeah, they're both in Jacksonville, so I think they
Yeah, that's
kind of.
true.
But I wasn't trying to get off track. I just kind of wanted to take a rib at the Bills. So it's week 8.
Yeah.
And
It is week 8.
and that's the midpoint of the season. I don't
It
know
is. Yes.
And some teams haven't
Well,
played
when you equal everyone's bye, it's
week 9
Right.
is
But-
technically. But we're going to do our mid-season predictions for the awards
yes, sir.
anyway, because we think week 8 is the middle of the season. So
No, it is. It's hey,
we're going for
it's
it.
the middle of the season.
So
Let's do it.
we'll go to the main award. I mean, the first one is MVP. I mean, who do you think, in your opinion, who's the MVP right now and why?
Carson Wentz
Okay.
of the Eagles, of course. He's taken this step now, and like I said, they're arguably the best team in the league. He's grown now, dynamic player. He's a good leader. Everyone raves about his leadership. They have Alshon Jeffrey's a good receiver, but they're not loaded with elite talent.
Yeah, they're
And
not.
and Zach Ertz is a good player. Like they have good players. but-
Aguilar's looking
Right.
way better than he
But
ever looked.
Exactly. Aguilar's looking great. So I think he's the reason for that. He just the way he carries himself. And again, when you're winning, and you're a quarterback, it also heightens your exposure to these kinds of awards. And to me, he's been the best player so far this season.
I can't disagree with you, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
I know this seems a little odd because the stats might not necessarily make him the best player, but I think Russell Wilson is MVP right now. For
Really?
me. Because the only reason his team is winning is because of his ability to move out of the pocket and to make plays happen. And yeah, he's got Paul Richardson, who's a great deep threat, and he's got Jimmy Graham. Baldwin. He's got guys, but they're not wow players.
No.
And he's very similar to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady in the fact that he makes receivers who aren't known better. Like, he just makes them known. Like, he really creates
That's true. The way he plays, you're right. I mean, that's a good point. The way he plays the game, his ability to move around, and he's that kind of a player. He's a dynamic quarterback. And
Yes.
again, I can't argue against that because you're right. Without him, I mean, their running game has been trash this year.
Yeah.
So without him, they would be
Horrible.
right. They'd be horrible.
And it also stacks on the best trade that I thought with Dwayne Brown. I think that's going to really,
Yeah.
even though he had the most passing yards he's ever had in his whole career, Russell Wilson, this past game.
Right.
I still think he's got nowhere to go but up, and listen, man, that team's going to be interesting. They have great coaching. They know how to win in the playoffs. They
Right.
have that if they somehow get some sort of home field advantage.
Yeah, that place is really tough to play at.
And I know we're not doing Coach of the Year, but Sean McVay, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
The coach
from
of the Rams has got
yes.
them playing tough too. So it's not going to be an easy, winnable division like Cupcake Division
No.
at all. But like I said, I think Russell Wilson's the MVP because of that. So.
I mean, of course, you could always say Tom Brady every year, and no one would argue with you. That's
Yeah,
Tom Brady.
he's up there too.
The MVP.
I mean, yeah, and
But-
if he wins, it wouldn't surprise me. And
Right.
it's like, hey, listen, we've seen the story before. We know how it ends. Like,
Right.
whatever. Like, okay, cool. But we're not going to come up here and predict it.
I hope he doesn't get it, but
Yeah, I don't
that means the
either. You
Patriots
could also
are
make
winning.
the argument for Alex Smith because of the way he's been playing this year.
definitely Alex Smith is another guy you could throw in that mix. That team has been
And even Hunt.
great too.
I know that's a weird thing, but I mean, you
yeah,
can't have
you
all
could.
those quarterbacks. You
No,
know?
you could include him in it. Definitely. I can't think of a defensive player this year that I would say has an MVP shot.
Not yet, at least.
No, yeah, there's nobody that like really stands out to me. I mean, you have the same guys who seem to come around
Yeah.
but no, you're right. You're right. Those are the guys I would put: Brady, Smith, Wentz, and then Wilson.
Right.
Vince.
Those are the guys that impact their teams and make people better. And I kind of just killed your
What?
vibe a little because I brought his name up. But, Kareem Hunt.
Yes.
I think you have him for Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's the guy I would pick as Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, the guy you chose,
Who's Deshaun Watson.
right, has also been incredible. Didn't start the beginning of the year though, so I think I
The
gotta
first half of the first game.
I gotta hold that a little bit against them.
The first half of the first game.
Well, whatever.
Well, you know what? Your guy fumbled on his first career.
And he hasn't
And
fumbled
then he had
since.
like 300 total yards. So. Okay,
But
yeah, whatever.
he leads the NFL in rushing as a rookie.
Very true. Very true.
The Chiefs are one of the best teams in the league,
They definitely are.
and
Because of him. And the thing
Yeah,
is, he has moxie, and he stepped in when,
Spencer Ware got hurt.
and then
he
they
was
had
supposed
no
to be
one.
the
And
guy.
He came in and
Definitely.
he was like the steal, right?
Yeah.
And you know what really pisses me off? Not pisses me off because you know what? This guy's a good friend of mine. He's my fraternity brother. I have an auction style draft,
Right.
and I had Spencer Ware, whatever. And it's the end of the draft, and it's me and this last guy, and we have the last two picks, and I need running back, so does he. So I can't remember who I took, but I was like, you know what? I don't really need. I have 3 good running backs, like, whatever. You know, you should take this guy Hunt. I hear he's pretty good for 10 cents. And then I pick someone, Pumphrey, and he gets injured, and Hunt turns out to be like the steal of the year. But Mike Kachinkis.
Was this before Ware got hurt?
Oh no. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It was before it. That's what I
Okay.
mean. So
All right.
if it wasn't, then I would have. No,
Right.
definitely, I'm going for him. But
Right.
yeah, no. I got Ware and Robinson on the team, and I actually started off 5-0, and then have been tanking since because I got a lot of luck, they will say, on my matchups. So. Anyway, I think going back to the point, I do like your choice. I think Watson is mine because, first of all, he's a quarterback. And he went to a team where they notoriously had a lot of turnover
Right.
at the quarterback position.
Oh yeah.
In
No.
the last 5 to 6 years, it's been crazy how many people have played there.
No,
Right?
he's definitely worthy. I'm not going to argue with.
Yeah.
I can't argue with your pick too much. Again, I just think consistency. Hunt has been there since the beginning of the year, and he leads the NFL in rushing as a rookie.
We'll see.
That's my.
right.
That's my. But no, Watson. I mean, if Watson at the end of the year, Watson could.
He could
he
win MVP.
Right, he could
honestly.
win MVP, and then
He's got 19 touchdown passes. That's tied for the league high right
Crazy,
now.
man.
So I mean, like, if we're really going to be going crazy, we could say
that's
that
a
he's
sore
in the
point
MVP.
for me. We need to move on from Deshaun
No,
Watson.
because it's not. I said this last week. There's no way on the Jets he
Shut
does
up.
the same thing.
Quiet. I don't want to hear it.
I don't care. I'm just saying. Just be realistic about it. It's not the same confidence. It's not the same coaching. You can't say it. All right, whatever. Speaking of the Jets, my defensive rookie of the year is Jamal Adams. Now, I could have went a few different directions. There were other people I considered, but I thought I watch him every game, and I think he's phenomenal. And I see the impact he has. Marcus Bay's been good too, but he's not at that level. Jamal Adams is literally all over the field.
And the thing that I like about him is he's basically the quarterback of the secondary. He's a rookie.
Yeah,
So
already.
that the leadership skills he shows, I'm with you on that. That's a really good selection. And again, maybe it's a little bit because we're both Jet fans, and
Yeah.
we want him to be great.
Well, I mean, when I've said this from the start, and I said it last week, and I might have said it, I think we got the best player in the draft. Like, I really do, and
You're saying that you now even
I'll
after
say
you
it
said
again.
Deshaun Watson.
best player. But it's different. You can't compare offense to defense. I'm not upset
Player
about
is
that.
player.
You're upset with the Watson pick, not me.
No, I'm saying player is player. You said the best player at the draft.
I think he's
not
the best player.
defensive player. At the
No,
draft.
yeah, I think Adams is the best all-around player. His dad was drafted by the Giants. I think it was
does that have to
1983 in the
do
first round. He's got good pedigree. In the first round, his dad. He was an All-American 3-year. It doesn't have anything to do with what he's doing now.
Okay.
But the bottom line is, I thought it then, I think it now. I'm happy with it, regardless.
Deshaun Watson won the Heisman. He won a national championship, and he should have won 2.
I can't argue with that. But so did Tim Tebow.
No, see, but
Yeah!
Tim Tebow can't throw. Tim Tebow can't throw the ball. Like, that's his job.
I'm just saying the point you brought up.
can't-
I said, well, he's one. You know what I mean? Those are awards. I'm talking about actual, his pedigree and like the way what he comes from, and like also what you see on the field.
I hope you're right. I hope
All
he
right, fair
does
enough.
wind up being the best player
right, yeah,
in the
yeah.
draft. But I don't think he is.
Okay,
That's fine.
but you do think he's defensive rookie of the year, or do you disagree with me?
No, I went the other way. I went with Malik Hooker from the Colts.
Okay.
I love. Don't get me wrong. Like, everything you said about Adams, I agree with. But Hooker is a playmaker, man. This guy.
I agree. He's had a few picks he's taken to the house
He
already.
is a dynamic playmaker, and again, I love Adams. I love May. They've both been great. But this guy, I don't know. This guy to me is a game changer. He's the kind of guy that at any moment he can make a play and change the whole game. For
He
you.
did. I'm not putting a damper, and we talked about this. I think he got a little hurt. He was out last week,
Yes.
but I was gonna pick him also, but that made me not.
Okay.
But he was my choice as well, so I can't argue with you. He's insane. Like,
Yeah.
I've watched him play, and I'm like, this kid is gonna be
You
special.
know, this draft with safeties, right? I mean,
Yeah,
pretty damn solid draft.
I'm all about it. We
Yeah.
got 2 of them.
Yeah, we got 2 of them.
That's gonna help us for
Just
years.
got 2 of them. So.
I like Hooker, but I think him being on the Colts automatically makes him get hurt because their team is just horrible with injuries. I don't know
really
what it
bad,
is.
Man. They're a bad team. I mean, period.
Remember
There's
Bob
really-
Sanders, Mr. Glass? I used to call him, but he was like,
Incredible when he played.
oh yeah,
He was like 5'9".
and just like a ball, not even a
Yeah.
bowling ball. He was really thin, and he just like looked jacked, and like, I don't know what it is with them and safeties, but they get hurt. Even T.J. Green last year, he got
Yeah.
hurt as well.
That's true.
It's notorious, but you know
It's
what?
that
They
place,
have
man.
that. He's an amazing player, so it's kind of like, do
Yeah.
you take a guy that can play 10 games a year instead? But you know.
Well, I mean, no. Yeah, I mean, they made the right choice. Like, he's been incredible, but as you said, he got hurt. So
I picked for my defensive player of the year. I picked Everson Griffin of the Vikings. If you don't know him, you should, because he's a monster. He's one of the most underrated, if possible, even though he's had
Right.
so many sacks, underrated defensive lineman in the league. If someone just casually is mentioning the top 5, you know, he should be in it and all the time, but he's not, right?
no, he's.
I mean, that defense overall is.
Yeah, I mean, they always have. It seems like they always have a good defense.
Daniel Hunter's nasty too. He's on the other side. I know he's 21, a little younger. They have Harry the Hitman.
No, but this guy, he's a load to cover. Like, he's a load to block. Griffin is a tremendous player, and I can't argue with that at all. He
He had
great
9
this year.
sacks, I think,
Yes.
through his first 7 games.
Yeah.
And that's insane. It
Yeah.
really is, because I don't even know. I play flag, and I'm not even close to my shape I used to be in, and I don't even have 2 sacks all season. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's impressive. But when I was going over our picks, because we kind of bounced them off each other before, and then I did some deeper looking, your pick is right now he's showing that he can play anywhere, and like originally they thought only inside, you know.
Yeah, I went with Calais Campbell from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Well, they have arguably the best defense in the league.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. He has 10 sacks. As you said, versatile, can move him all around, move him around the line. He's not that this should factor into it, but he's just a huge man. He's like 6'9".
Yeah, like 340, like
yeah,
just
he
a
is
beast.
an incredible athlete, and I remember him with the Cardinals. Like, he was always good with the Cardinals, but I don't know, they got him here, and he was always good there, but now to me he's just blowing up this year, and he's the guy. Definitely the guy I chose as of now as my defensive player of the year.
I think he has, 10.5 sacks right now?
He has 10 right now.
And 30-something tackles.
Yes.
Which is pretty extraordinary for a D lineman.
Yeah, it's 32 tackles. Yes. And
He's a
10
beast.
sacks. Yeah.
I mean, his defense around him, like you mentioned, is one of the best, and I think that helps him to get single blocking, like not getting doubled. That's going to help. Also, as I mentioned, he never really was considered that speed guy. And
No.
now you see the bend. Well, anyone who's played football, going around the bend and holding your
Right.
positioning and staying balanced is a talent in itself, and
Yeah.
he can even do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember with the Cardinals, he always played inside. He was a majority. He played inside always. Now they are moving
all
him
the
around,
time.
right? And they're moving him around, and he's showing he can play any spot on the line. So, again, one of the top defenses, if not the top defense in the league, and I think he's their best defensive player. So,
I said, I never knew that was going to be that big of a signing, but I said it right when I said they just got a great player that's going to impact because they have some edge rushers too that are interesting. Miles Jack you would consider a middle, but he's also on the outside. He's very young.
no, I mean their entire defense is tough.
Their corners it's God tier almost. Like they're at that level where they're the best in the league by far.
Jalen Ramsey is tremendous.
Well, and Boye's
Boy is good too. Yeah, that's good. Good point.
I mean,
But Ramsey is.
he's like Baby Dion. I'm not gonna say he's there, but he's.
No, just I love his attitude. That's what I love. You have to play that position and be great. You have to play the way he plays.
Either or, receiver or corner.
Yes,
for sure. You need
have
to have
believe that you are the best. No one's better than you. And how dare anybody say that you're not the best? And that's the way.
Hell yeah, that's how the league was for a while there with
Yeah.
Richard Sherman and Revis, and then they all
That's true.
dropped off a little. But
Yeah, Sherman's still good, but he's
Sherman's
not as good.
You're right. I think Peters and Jalen Ramsey are the two best in the league right now. Also, I know we didn't say him for Rookie of the Year, but Lattimore, and I'm actually not sure if they do Rookie of the Year on different conferences, but on defense, Marshawn Lattimore has been.
Yep.
And he's been a lockdown corner, literally.
Yeah.
You line the number one. Take a look at the stats. You line the number one up against him. It's aside from maybe one
Such
game.
a tough position to play to coming into the league. Cornerback, such a tough position to play.
I liked him coming out, and I wouldn't have minded the Jets taking him. But I'm glad we got Adams because he's had a little. Marshawn Lattimore
He's the
has.
best player in the draft.
Well, he is the best player, Jeff, and I didn't think he would be there. But the point of the comment is,
I'm just needling you, man.
I know. I'm used to it.
Just getting you a little bit.
The point of the comment is, I wanted Lattimore, but he has injury history, and since we took D. Milner and Kyle Wilson and all these other flops at corner besides Revis,
Yeah.
I didn't want to test it again. You know what I mean? So I was happy with, and we needed the personality of Adams, and that's what the biggest. You mentioned it earlier.
They wanted character guys, and that's what
Yeah.
they said. So that's what they took. And again, I can't argue with it. He's been everything and more. Like you couldn't ask for anything more than what he's given you. So
We got the
far,
clowns out of here.
So yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what they did. Pretty much what they did.
So switching gears a little
Yes.
to the Knicks.
Yes, the New York
New
Knicks.
York Knicks.
3 straight wins. Impressive. 3 straight impressive wins.
Porzingis.
Yeah, right. We touched on him a little last week.
I love him.
We talked. Oh well, how could you not, man?
Yeah.
Like I said, MVKP.
Can I make a point too? We had 2 people call in already. Please call in if you don't like Porzingis and tell us why, because I really don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, if you're not a Knicks fan, you might not.
Well, yeah, if you're a Knicks fan and you don't like him. Other way, I mean, whatever. But you could also call in too.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. Any Knicks fan who now doesn't like him. I've been on the train since the beginning.
Yeah.
But I know plenty of Knicks fans who hated the pick because he was European. Europeans are soft. Europeans don't play defense. Europeans. He's going to bust. Look at what happened with Frederick Weiss, never coming over here. Blah, 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 blah. Now, those people are like, he's the best player in the league.
First of all,
MVP. Same stuff. Oh, my God. You know what? If you weren't down in the beginning, I don't want to hear that crap right now.
I do have my one buddy, Brad Launer, who, I don't know if he's listening, but he doesn't like him still. He thinks he's going to get injured for his career because he's one of those guys, which I get because he's big for him, but we talked about it last week. He's building out the right way, where he should.
Well,
not putting too much mass on, more
when
muscle.
players are saying, because they've been interviewing some guys, and the players are saying that you used to be able to push him out the lane, and he worked so hard on his lower body that you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So, and it shows in his game. I mean, he's taking less threes this year. He's playing mostly inside. I mean, he's
getting the looks Melo used to, which are better
Right.
shots because they're
Right.
setting up plays for him. And people were, they're like, oh, we're going to lose Melo. We're going to be even more like horrible. But I never really thought that as long as they gelled correctly, because now they're all buying into this system that's an actual system, not a mix of a triangle.
Yeah, and the biggest move that Jeff Hornacek made in this past week, who by the way has taken a lot of crap from Knicks fans so far, but
like any coach would.
Right. I mean, they didn't start out well, and coming off last year, I can understand why, but he made the decision to put in Jarrett Jack at point guard in place of Ramon Sessions, and Jack is not a great point guard. He's a little bit past his prime. He's had some injury issues, but smart veteran guy, and he's been incredible. Since they put him in the starting lineup, they've been incredible on offense.
I know, against the Cavs too. That game was like
right. They beat the Cavs, and they were up big, and the Cavs came back on them. And
you know what happened in that game? Actually, I heard Tim Hardaway Sr. actually traded places with Tim Hardaway Jr. and he put up 32 points. So
yeah,
I mean, it looked like he was killing it that game.
No, he was. That was. I had been killing him up until that point.
Yeah.
Everyone who knows me knows I've been killing because I hate.
And Ntilikina a little.
I hate the Hardaway signing, and I still don't like it. I still think it's a little too much money for him. But hey, he was tremendous that game, and last night he was tremendous too. Like in the fourth quarter, it was rough until then, but he had some huge shots in the fourth quarter last night, and he's starting to do other things. That was always my biggest thing. I know he can score, and I knew that would come around. But can you defend? Are you going to create for others? Can you rebound a little bit? Do other things. Oh, we have a caller.
Maybe they were talking about the Knicks.
I would think so.
Who do we have on the line?
You have Tyran Booker on the line from Suffolk.
What's up, Ty?
What's going on, Salty?
What's going on? Yes, I am salty. This is an inside joke. What's up, man?
Just a little bit of nickname. Big shout out to the Knicks OGs. They know who that is.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Frank Ntilikina, actually seeing what he can bring to the table. What do you think the need for Doncic versus Porter if we're looking forward to the draft?
Well, if they are bad still the rest of the year and they're in the position to take one of those guys, I'm a Luka Doncic guy.
Gotcha.
I am not. I am 100% Porter, like 100%. I've seen him, and I mean, we'll see in the college season if he brings it to the next level. I think he will. I think he's a rare talent. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, he definitely is a rare talent. A little bit like the kid that's playing in Boston right now.
For sure.
Yeah. No, but Doncic, the thing I like about Doncic is, again, he's a pro already. He's playing in professional league in Europe. And a lot like KP, he has that attitude that, has that American
swag, that Euro swag, as they call it.
Yeah, he's got a very American game and American attitude, and he plays the game, balls to the wall. And I love players like that, and he's tremendously skilled. Like,
have you seen Porter play?
I've seen Porter play. No, don't get me wrong. Either one I'd be fine with.
Okay.
Either guy I'd be fine with, but I think for what the Knicks need, Doncic can play small forward, and I think you could slide him in there and have him and KP as your forwards, and it's over. They're gonna run the league for years.
See, I think Porter can play probably. He could potentially play all 5 positions, but you want to probably have him at the 3 also, or the 2. It depends kind of what you want to do with him, right?
Right.
I think you have your point guard in Ntilikina, which he brought up. I liked what I saw from him this week, and I think they would all gel together. I mean, listen, I honestly feel after seeing, and it might be just wishful thinking after this week, that we're going to make the playoffs and be like 8-6 if we can keep the momentum going. That's wishful thinking. I'm probably digging myself into a hole.
But that would kill the Porter Doncic dream.
It would, but you know what? Listen, I'd rather have a winning culture than a player that's top 5. I'm sorry, unless it's number 1, then whatever, we'll take it.
It is definitely an interesting dynamic. Do you want that experience for KP in the playoffs and see what he can do there, or do you want to add another piece to them going forward and not be good? It's an interesting argument to have.
Are you still there, by the way?
Yes, I'm still there. And
Who do you want?
Dynamic I wanted to talk about with Porter. Porter also offers one of the biggest lineups in basketball. If we can move him at the small forward, he's 6'10", Cantor 7 foot, and also we know what Drago can do at 7'3" at the center.
Yeah.
They would present the biggest lineup in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, definitely would. That would be
Ntilikina at 6'6" at the point.
I know, and his
We gotta talk
wingspan
about
is
that.
7 feet. So
Yeah, Hardaway 6'6". Yeah, that would. Yeah,
it'd
that's
be
a good
crazy.
point.
We have another call. Thanks for
calling,
calling.
Ty.
Sounds good. Take care, Salty.
Later.
Take care now.
All right, man. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
John Cicerani from
What's going
Bayport.
on, man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
All right.
Well, first of all, I got to rag on you a little bit for calling him the MVP. Because
You never
we had
know.
this fight.
That's true. I know why he's saying this too.
2 days now we've had this fight, and you called me a homer. I'm glad to see my homerism is rubbing off on you.
No, I put it in a. I have my show notes. I can show you if you want. I put it in question marks. Is he the MVP? No, you can make the argument. That wasn't my point. I never said you couldn't make that
Okay.
argument. But I think it's a little premature. And our argument had
It
to
is.
do with Karl Anthony Towns as well, and who we would take
Oh.
there. And I still like Towns over him. That's my opinion.
It's kind of
But-
hard at this point. For
Right?
me.
No, it's like I said. You're not going to lose either way.
I mean, if Towns
But-
is by himself on a team without Wiggins and Jimmy Butler, he's probably scoring 40 points a game, though. That's the thing. So, but listen, they're two different. They're both great. So it's
Right, they're different kinds of players. Porzingis is more of a perimeter guy. Towns pretty much stays inside and does his thing.
And
in
that
there.
was the point that you made earlier. Yes, that if Wiggins wasn't the guy who never found a shot he didn't like, that Towns would probably be in the KP range of scoring on a nightly basis.
Yeah,
I agree with that one.
it's
So,
it would
I
be
got a
nice to
question
have
for you.
both, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, we've talked about that before, getting both of them to play together. That would be
So
fun.
if the team is good enough to not get a lottery pick,
Right.
let's not even talk playoffs, but we'll say we have a 9th seed or something like that. We miss out on all of the good draft picks. Where do you go from here, and how do you build the team up?
I feel personally that you probably maneuver Canner somewhere, even though he's been playing well. You might even want to do that by mid-year. The only reason I say that is Hernan Gomez is kind of on the. I think Canner's playing great, but I also think he has a contract and you want to get rid of it. You can clear enough room where I think people are going to want to come to New York now. I really do. I don't know. We always say that,
I
right?
agree.
You would hope.
But I think someone will come to play with KP eventually because of how he's maturing, and then also we have some young guys besides him. So I make the trade. I trade the draft pick away, probably get some kind of veteran, make the move with Cantor, figure it out, and hopefully bring in another shooting guard or someone that could help our bench defensively, someone like a Crowder or something like that.
I would like a kind of an all-purpose wing player,
Yep.
like someone who can play offense and defense. You put a small forward because that's really the spot I see right now that the Knicks need to address. I've always liked Enes Kanter. I think he's a really good player. He might not be as easy to trade as Hernan Gomez because of the contract. Someone might want to take. They're the same player.
I think
They're
he's
the same
devalued
player.
right now. You don't want to get rid of him.
So,
Hernan Gomez.
well, yeah, but his youth, he's young and he's
He
still
is very
unknown.
young.
So people always pay a price for that.
Trade him to what's it called for Conley. I'll take him. That's their type of guy, you know.
Who?
Hernan Gomez and someone else for Mike Conley. He's got a big contract, but
That's the only reason why I wouldn't right now.
but I mean,
He's got a
listen,
huge contract.
if I'm
but
thinking
no,
of-
I like him. I've always liked him.
if I'm thinking of post guys too, like people that have had success.
Do you like
it's
him for $30 million, though?
No,
No,
I just said that. His contract is the reason why I wouldn't.
No.
He makes too much money.
Well-
I know why they did it, and they had to do it. They had to keep him, but yeah, I didn't.
Would you keep Lee and move him to the bench, or would you move him out of town?
I would. I'd probably get rid of him if they can. I mean, we've had this discussion before. He's okay for what he is, and on his contract, as you guys bring up all the time, it's a really cheap one comparatively to what the cap is now. So veteran, he plays good defense. So yeah, I mean, he's an asset to have. But again, this is the question again: are we playing for now, going to the playoffs, want to move forward this season, or do we want to build for the future?
It's too early to tell in my mind.
Yeah, it really is.
It's something that we'll talk about.
But it's awesome. These last 3 games have been tremendous, and we're all excited again to watch this team. So it's been
Agreed.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
listen,
Go Knicks.
we appreciate
Have
you
a good
calling
show,
in.
fellas.
Go Knicks, and we're going to be talking about this for the next
yeah,
few
going
months.
forward. Yeah, if they keep this up, we'll definitely keep talking, and KP we'll keep talking about regardless. So, all right. Thanks for calling in, John.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. call in every week. We're glad we had some callers this week, certainly.
Yes.
And, make sure that you're inspecting your candy before you eat it.
That's true. It's Halloween, folks, and hope you all got your more treats than tricks, or depending on what you like, maybe you like tricks, and you can take that however you want.
Okay. Right.
But
have a nice week, and we'll see you next week at 7 p.m. on Man Up.